live from the beautiful studios in downtown Padunda. It's the Ghurn Blandston Show with Ghurn Blandston. Tonight's guests, Larry Sanders, Mo Pinkle, and now, here's Ghurn Blandston. And thank you very much, John. I appreciate the intro. We are rocking it on a Saturday night here. We love the people that are in here right now listening to us, and we got a full studio as we always do. And we got right here in the old control booth. We got Kitty. Kitty's back there. Kitty LaRue, what do you think, girl?
Hey,
That's
baby.
right. That's right, Kitty. You play it wonderfully, Kitty, and we know you'll keep us on our toes here tonight. Kitty's celebrating a holiday right now. I believe it's National Groundhog Day for her, and it's very important from where she comes from down there in Louisiana. They like
groundhogs. We feed them to the alligators. They're very important to our economy. Do you ever get any alligators down your part of the woods?
No, Kitty. I mostly have just small groundhogs.
Well, why don't you send them to us? Because we have all the alligators we're trying to feed.
Really?
Yeah, tons of them. We can't keep enough groundhogs coming.
Well, I'll be dogged. Well, you know, as the good book says, bigger deals are yet to come. And today I have my co-host that hasn't been with us for a long time, actually ever. He's up there in the North Country. Say hello to Dr. Ben Dover Buttonhole. Ben, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Can you tell the folks where you are located right now geographically on this God's green earth?
Well, I'm just north of the Mason-Dixon line, and
Would that be
I plan to
east
stay
of
there.
Omaha?
Yes. And then some.
Well, that's great. And so Ben's going to be with us. He's going to share and impart knowledge that he has about certain things. And you can look him up on the web at www.bendover.com, and he will answer your internet questions. He'll answer your health questions, and might possibly give what do they call that? A lecture. A lecture. He might possibly give a lecture. And so we're looking forward to having Mr. Dover, Ben, over here, and we're grateful to have him. So we're going to take a little short break before we get started with the festivities here, and we'll be right back after this. All right, we're back, and thanks everybody for being with us on this Saturday night here at the Ghurn Blandston Show. We have Saber Kitty over there on her organ again.
Yay!
How about it, Saber?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, it's going pretty good. With us, so we also have Dr. Ben Dover Buttonhole is in for as a special co-host, and of course, not to be believed, the smartest man on the planet, Dink Dinkelson. How you doing, Dink? You with us now?
I am. I'm sorry I missed rehearsal, but I had to watch Michigan beat Ohio State.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right, Dink. The results will be in your check.
Oh, no. Again?
So we're going to roll on here and bring in a special guest that we have here tonight, Doctor. If you wouldn't mind to talk to me about something about your credentials. Where did you get your doctoral degree?
I got that in the Netherlands.
Oh, that's great. You know, I'm Nordic,
Really?
Yeah.
I heard that about you.
And so being Nordic, I'm really I'm really impressed that you went there. Tell us about that. What experience was that like?
The Netherlands in Europe.
I've heard that you can get through medical school in 2 months over there. Is that correct?
Yeah, but you got to pay more.
Oh, yeah. The less you pay, the more. Yeah, I got you.
The longer it takes, yeah.
The longer it takes, yes, it does, and we all know that. So we don't usually go that kind of route. But Dr. Ben Dover, did you practice there, or have you always practiced here in America? Whatever it is you practice.
Well, I don't practice so much anymore because I got it down to an art, so it's a real deal, and we just sell it.
And what field are you basically talking about here?
Oh, anything from the field of Dover to the grassy knoll. I mean, I'm all over it.
All over the Dover.
So, coincidentally, my wife my wife suffered from grassy knoll a few months ago, years maybe, and there was no one around to treat her, and so the fact that you have that grassy knoll experience, I really am glad you brought that out to the folks.
Well, it's just a simple injection now. I mean, that's ancient history, but it's the way it is.
Well, I know, and we're all about ancient history. Dink, he's fairly ancient. He comes from the Aztec. I believe the Aztecs first cooked him up. Is that right, Dink? Dink, do you need your medicine, Dink? Do you need to go to your trailer again?
Stand by.
Stand by. Dink's wanting us to stand by, so I'm going to stand by this lampshade. I'm going to stand by this lampshade over here and see if I can figure out what he's got going. And so we're going to take just a little bit of a pause, and we'll be right back shortly. We're clear. No, we're not clear. Oh, God, I thought we were clear, but we're not clear.
It's never clear.
It's never clear around here, I was walking in the street the other day, and I noticed that all the windows weren't clear, and I asked myself, what the hell? And and I was in a drunken stupor at the time, and nobody stopped to help me, so I went on my way. Thanks very much, Fred. I love when you come in the studio unannounced and get on the mic like that. Stop doing that, all right, please. No one likes it.
It just goes to show the old adage holds true. It's never clear with Everclear.
That's right. That's right. And leave
we
it
have
up.
them for a sponsor yet?
Leave it up to Dink. That's why he's such a valuable part of this show. That he always knows the fables, the things that went behind things, the behind thing. Doctor, have you ever known someone who is almost premonitic? What do they call it? Premonitic, I think. Where they, they have premonitions.
Yeah, that's called old age.
So, you're a hell of a diagnostic.
You people can't talk at all.
That's easy for you to say.
Well, and on that note, we've got to say that sometimes the knowledge we impart here on the show, in no way is made to be thought of as actual medical advice. Please seek out a physician before you make any decisions about your health or your family's health. But if your health needs help, well, we're here to help you. Here at healthhelp.com. That's healthhelp.com. You need help? We can help. You got health? We know how to help your health. And so we say to you tonight, thank you so much for supporting the Ghurn Blandston Show.
Hey, I read something here a while back.
What was
Congratulations.
it? Dink, we're on bated breath, buddy.
Everybody's a freaking comedian.
That's right. Here at the Ghurn Show, everyone, including good old Kitty.
Oh my gosh.
Kitty.
There I go, be funny again.
and poetic, too.
Yeah. And what did you read, Dink?
That Steve McQueen did a lot of the driving, but the big chase scene in Bullet, where they're jumping over the hills,
Oh, yeah.
he wasn't in the car for that. But yeah, they had the two best stunt drivers in all of Hollywood in that movie. The two best. But yep, that's what I read. That's all I read.
Dr. Ben, have you any thoughts on Steve McQueen's stunt driving personnel or anything? Were you on that set in those days?
I was. He was.
How was Steve? Was he a nice guy?
No, he was an arsehole because he was. Yes, he said he was the two best drivers in the state, and he was both of them.
Aha. And
so
yeah, that's a different take than Dink is trying to make it sound like.
Well, I'm telling you now, he was not a nice guy.
It's just what I read.
I know.
You did read that.
He wrote that, so hey.
Who wrote that? Who wrote
Steve
that?
wrote that.
Thank you,
Kitty.
Kitty, could you play a little more of that?
Whoops, that was an accident.
Could you play a little more of that? We all enjoyed
My
it.
bad.
We all enjoyed it.
That was it. That was the whole song. Right
Really, that
there.
was
Yeah.
it. That was it.
There was.
Play
the
them
end
blues
of the
for me,
song.
darling. That's.
I've been
That
trying to
sounds like
learn
a
the
Grand
blues,
Funky show there.
but I just
Yeah.
get real sad.
Friends.
Blackie.
So
Friends.
I go into church.
Friends, I want to tell you tonight that we're all happy down here at the Happy Farm, and we want to invite everyone to join our broadcast. And of course, we have the same old bunch of people. We have the same funny people. We've got Dink Dinkle Dickelson,
Here.
and we've got
There he is.
Dr. Bendover Buttonholer.
Harumph, harumph.
Harump. Of course, I'm Ghurn Blandston. I've always been Ghurn Blandston. And you guys out there in Logland, I just wanted to speak to the fact that we're checking our analytics and our statistics, and we found out that we have listeners, perhaps Barry and Dr. Barry, the Barely Doctor, is going to be interested in this. Oh, my God. And so we looked on the things, and we said... there's people, we looked on the things there, and there's people in Australia listening to the Ghurn Blandston Show.
Awesome Aussies.
Oh, good eye.
Yay!
Yeah, come
We love you guys.
on, let's hear
Down
it.
under.
What about Africa? We got anybody listening in Africa?
No one in Africa.
Not yet.
The next closest country, I believe, is Burma. We're big in Burma for some reason. Burma, which they renamed, but I call it that just out of I don't know, some kind of
The olden days.
Yes, a respect for the elder things, kind of thing.
The snakes, the Burmese snakes, what are they going to call them now? Whatever they call the new place, I suppose.
It's a jungle out there.
That's what I heard.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my!
Oh my! So we've got a brief time to listen again to a little bit of music, and we'll go out with the music and take it away, Kitty. You've been listening to the Ghurn Blandston Show, presented worldwide over KZZK Radio. On behalf of the Backpack Players, the Backache Studios, the generous donation from the Chubb Foundation, and we have lots of people just writing in and saying, hey, we love you guys, and we want you to know that we love you too. And so we'll be right back with the frivolity, fun, merriment, and mirth. Stand by.
From the radio studios in WKORN in beautiful downtown Martlesville, it's the Ghurn Blandston Show.
And we're so happy to be here tonight.
How happy are you, Bob?
Well, I am so happy I need my britches steam cleaned.
Well, alrighty then.
So we're here with the doctor as always, and we want to bring in a new guest that we have as soon as we can get the confounded music to come down, and that'll be just here shortly. Brought to you by Kazoo Wonkies. Kazoo, the brand name you can't forget. All right, and we're back here in the studio. We've got a man who did something quite miraculous, quite unexpected. Nobody at all would have thought a human would do this. It's such groundbreaking thing. It's a groundbreaking thing. Saber, you've never heard of anybody doing this, right?
I haven't heard it yet, so I don't know.
Well, did you read this?
I didn't. Did you send me a script?
Did you read the script?
I didn't.
Saber?
Oh my God! Was there a script? Did anybody else get a script? Because I didn't get a
there
script.
was a script.
Somebody tell me they didn't. Come on.
And at that point,
Ghurn's
you were
fault.
supposed to say, no, you've never heard of anybody doing that.
I've never heard of anyone doing that.
That's me neither, Sabra. And so we're really glad to have this man on tonight. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys what he did, and this was just his choice. He went and had surgically implanted a third fully functioning with a hand arm, a human arm. Don't worry. They didn't go out and get one off of somebody. They used a cadaver arm and hooked it back up to the nerves and such. And so we have, he's got this third arm in the middle of his back, and it's spawned a whole new genre of clothing. There's new clothing out for third arm people, because as soon as people saw this and saw how well it worked and how eventful and practical it is, people started wanting to do it for themselves. And now there's a whole group of third armors, and we're going to have the very founding member of the third armors. He's come in tonight to speak with us, Fred Willingsham. I believe you're on the line, Fred?
Yes.
And Fred agreed to talk with us because he is so wanting to get the word out to encouraged people to have a third arm put in. And I'm considering myself, Fred, what was the first advantage you noticed?
Better butt scratching.
And that came a lot easier because you didn't have to reach around, as they say.
Yes.
I bet you had no trouble pulling your pants up.
No.
And, that's right.
That was much more efficient.
That was Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben actually performed the surgery that attached the arm. Dr. Ben, let me ask you, when Fred came to you with this, were you eager to take on such an undertaking?
Well, no, I wasn't, but he said he couldn't put his pants on, and it seemed like a good idea at the time.
I know.
And,
I have a problem finding that belt loop that's in the very back.
Yes.
Sometimes I have to chase myself around like a dog, chasing his tail. It's very bad for me like that. And so, anyway, go ahead.
Well, that's where we started the physical therapy, and we just gave him smaller and smaller pants until his voice went up a full octave. And then we said, Eureka, we've found it.
And from then on,
he looks like a man and talks like a girl.
I see.
Unless he's not wearing any pants, and then he's pretty normal.
So are you saying that he traded having a third arm installed for sounding like a man?
He sounded like a man when we started, but if he pulls those pants all the way up, he gets a whole octave higher.
So a person with a third arm, such as Fred, has to undergo some kind of therapy to make sure they don't overdo it and give themselves an atomic wedgie. Is that what you're saying?
That is the accurate effect of the procedure.
So the back arm, as we call it in the business, is on the back between the shoulder blades. Fred, let me ask you, when you come up against a situation where you need to think about it for a second, which hand immediately instinctively goes to your head to scratch it?
Wow. Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm thinking for a second.
It's okay, Fred. Listen, I know. It's a little nerve wracking. It's a little nerve wracking.
It's very usually all three. I mean, I worked so hard on the physical therapy of my third arm that it overcompensates. Like the doctor said, I want to pull my pants up too tight. I want to scratch my head.
Right.
It's tough. It's tough to make them all equal. And right now, my back arm is my strongest arm. So.
Do you have to take arm rejecting drugs? Does your body try to reject your arm? Doctor, maybe you could answer this question.
We had to put him on steroids because he was growing so large, he kind of looked like a land shark. And we were horribly worried about that. So we injected steroids all over.
This was in the early stages, I assume.
Early stages, all the hair fell off the arm, and it kind of shrank it down a little bit, and then we weren't worried about that.
And so at that point, there was no turning back. Fred, were you conscious during this time?
We don't use the term turn
conscious? Back. What? My bad. Yes, I can understand where that might be hurtful to the third arm community.
Yes, we just don't say that in the community.
Yeah. Well, TAs have they just got, a new bill passed that protects their right to scratch their butt with their third arm. Before it was illegal to scratch their ass in public with their third arm. I don't know if you knew that, Fred, but people like you probably is why they've changed that law.
Was it illegal to have a third arm or just to scratch your ass?
No, it was you couldn't scratch your ass with the third arm.
It's kind of,
and see, we're working on that speech impediment.
Yes.
I got to tell you right now. I just want to interrupt there. We think we've hit him with too high a dose of steroids, and he just can't speak. But he will get around to it.
The doctor, we're thinking about replacing it with an android arm to get past all the obstacles. But they just haven't perfected it yet. But I want to be the first in line whenever that happens.
Well,
we have started also a experimental drug to help with the speech impediment. And I can tell you that with some real growth and some experimental, it's working out pretty well.
Oh, well, that's just terrific.
You should have heard me before.
One last question I'd like to ask you, Fred. Which hand do you generally shake when you're shaking with another TA?
It depends if we're facing each other or if we're back to back.
Oh, I see. So is there back to front? Is there back to front contact allowed in third armors? Is it always back to back, front to front? Doctor, maybe you could answer this. I really wish you'd work on that drug for the impediment thing, though. He needs that. Fred, poor Fred.
We're gonna double his dose up on that, and
I think you should.
Fine.
So, Fred, is there anything else you'd like to say to the folks before we get out of here?
No.
All right. Well, this has been lovely and good talking to you, Doctor, and good being there with you, Fred. Good luck with that third arm, and we'll be right back.
Thanks, Ghurn.
Thank you. This has been a special report from the Ghurn Newsroom. Third arm. Do you need it or is it evil? Third arm. Third arm. Third arm.
I said, you're proud of me, aren't you?
Yes.
You're talking into a cup, aren't you?
Did I have to tell you that over and over?
With ice water, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. It's part
thermal tumbler, yes.
It's part of our sound effects thing we have. We're always doing sound effects and whatnot. And that's just another one we have. It's okay.
This is,
I'm on speakerphone talking through a paper towel tube.
That's
tube.
right. And so we use that to simulate being out on the street. So here's how it goes.
No, out in space.
Here we are out in space. Out in space with Glenn Rocketeer. Glenn, can you hear us? Glenn, come in.
I didn't receive the question, but if you could repeat the question, I would gladly answer it.
I'm sorry, but it appears that Glenn has been lost in a meteor shower. There will be no funeral services. A short memorial will be held later on.
I can hear you now.
And
I got your voice.
He's got me. He's got me. All right. Glenn.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in here to the show tonight. How are you liking space?
There's just one thing wrong with space. There's a lot of it.
I see.
Everywhere.
Is it brightly lit?
I don't know. I'm blind, and there's only one thing wrong with being blind. you can't see.
I would assume so. Dink, I'm sure you have a question for Glenn. Glenn Rocket out in space, folks. He's out there on I believe, the third nebula from the east quadrant and about 24 parsecs from Earth. Glenn?
So they tell me.
Glenn, we have a line open. We're going to take a call now. Go ahead with the call, caller.
Glenn, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Are you going to make it back? Are you going to make it back, Glenn?
I don't know. I just don't know why they would send a blind man out in space. I'm still wondering if they got the right man for the job.
Glenn, are you being of any use to Houston at all?
They tell me to push buttons. I push buttons. But I can't see a thing. So I'm a little bit concerned.
Folks, this is
incredible. If they got the right man for the job.
You're witnessing something never been done before. They've sent a blind man into space. Glenn Rocket, what made you volunteer? Did you volunteer or were you coerced?
They said, step into this room. It'll just be a minute. So I did.
So just step into this room routine.
So did they say? Did they? Did they say wait one?
No, they just pushed a button and laughed.
I see.
I like that.
So do you have any hopes for getting back?
Not really.
Well,
really not funny, Glenn.
Glenn, I'm really glad to see you're keeping such a positive attitude about the whole thing. I'm not
very positive.
I'm not.
It's so sad.
Glenn?
Really, why would they do this to me? I'm a blind man. How can you make anything worse? And then you assholes call me up and say, how's it look today? How do you feel about it?
So would you... I don't know about you, Dink, but I'm speechless. This is the most fantastic. This is the most fantastic thing we've ever had on the show.
I feel so sorry for the guy.
I do too.
That's funny as hell.
I do too, but I have nothing I can say of any comfort whatsoever. Glenn. So
you assholes called me up for this, huh?
Glenn, Christmas is coming up. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel pretty good.
Think of all the money you'll save on buying presents.
I never thought about it like that.
Glenn, can you turn around your head around? Can you see the sun?
I can feel the sun.
You can feel the warmth? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Paddle toward the sun. Okay? Because, Glenn, I got to tell you, buddy, I'm not an astronaut or anything, but you seem to be pretty much screwed and tattooed, my friend.
Oh, really? You think?
Yeah. I do. And I hate to be that way. So on that note, Ghurn,
I think he figured that out long before he talked to you.
Glenn, thanks so much for being here with us. Really,
Glenn, hang in there, buddy.
I can be there for you.
Thanks so much for that.
Call back when you get a chance.
And so I just want to say, as we fade to black here, sorry, Glenn, Cool.
This is the Red Eye. The Red Eye, over and out.
And we'll miss you, buddy. Thank you for joining us here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ghurn Blandston, and I want to bring a part of the show as kind of a personal thing. You know, as you may know from listening to past episodes, that my trusty otherworldly guide and confidant that I use to talk to people who have passed on. We're talking about Seth, of course. I was a little hard on him. He got his feelings hurt, and so. You know, I didn't want to leave it at that. I like Seth a lot, even though he really smells bad. But I wanted to bring in a psychic psychiatrist all the way from Germany, Austria, I believe, the Austria area. We brought him in to see if he can, once I've summoned Seth from beyond, I'm hearing thunder now. Oh, wow. He must be near. Okay. And so, without further ado, Doctor, are you on the line? Doctor?
Hello, this is Dr.
Is this who?
Dr. Huckenstein.
Dr. Huckenstein. I'm sorry. On my notes, it said Huffledorf. Somebody
that's
apparently
you
misspelled.
may call me Doctor.
Dr. Huffendorf was what I okay. So you're here with us. You're going to help.
Huckenstein.
You're
Huckenstein. Damn it.
Do we have a connection, Doctor? I think we do.
It's up to you. I get paid either way.
I see. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to keep it moving here. Doctor, you're going to help. I'm going to summon Seth now and see if I can get him to come in and talk with us and see if we can talk through this problem that we have. So, Seth, we're calling you, Seth, from beyond. Seth, are you there? It takes a long time for the radio waves to get to beyond the grave, and so, Seth, sometimes there's a delay. So bear with me, folks. We think we have our...
I hear you. This is Seth.
There he is. Seth, thank you, Seth, for coming in. I wasn't sure.
I don't want to talk to you, guys.
I know, Seth. I know you don't want to talk to me, and buddy, I sometimes the feeling's mutual, but we need to we need to work this out. So I have a doctor all the way from Germany's going to talk to us and see if we can't work this out. Doctor, say hello to Seth.
Cheers on crackers! I don't believe this thing. I don't believe this is happening.
What are you finding? What are you finding hard to believe, Doctor?
It's a ghost. It's a ghost.
That's right. That's right. You are a psychiatrist, right?
Not for a ghost.
Not for ghosts.
This is Seth.
Seth, Seth, tell the doctor what you feel. Tell him how you feel.
I feel Ghurn's a jerk. I'm a Civil War veteran. He doesn't give me any respect for knowing Jimi Hendrix. Everybody knows everybody up here. It's one big happy family. And if Ghurn should come this way instead of going the other way, I'm going to get Jimmy not to hang out with him because I know Ghurn's a musician, and being shunned by Jimmy would hopefully hurt him deeply.
Yes, it would. It would. Listen, Seth, Doctor, I got to turn to you now. I was incredulous that Seth actually knew Jimi Hendrix. I stand corrected on that. Maybe he does. We can't prove it. There's no proof. There's no way of knowing. There's no way we can deal with this in any kind of...
me.
Doctor?
So, Mr. Ghost Boy, you're doubting this asshole here? And you're thinking he's dissing you, yes?
Yes.
Well, how do you feel about that, Mr. Asshole?
Okay, there's two things that I want to bring up right now. To Ghost Boy and to you, Doctor, Ghost Boy. That is, excuse me if I find this a little bit lighthearted. Okay. You're my first ghost relationship. I'm really not adept at this. Doctor, perhaps you could relate to Seth that I'm not trying to be an asshole, but that Ghost Boy, oh man, he's my Ghost Boy.
Yes, but we're talking about feelings and you're avoiding the question. How do you feel about that, Mr. Asshole?
I feel, and thank you for using the proper vernacular, Mister.
What an asshole!
Yeah, Seth, settle down, Seth. Listen, Seth, I'm going to apologize, and I'm going to rise up, and I'm going to use my platform to speak for the people that happen to be dead or swiftly approaching deadness. And I am going to try to put further choice to your cause. And really, I so appreciate you coming on tonight. I don't really need to talk with anyone. Doctor, I wonder if there are just some final closing thoughts that you would like to leave Seth with.
No. Could you back this check to Dr. Hookenstein?
Well, it's certainly been wonderful, and I'm really happy that we got to talk to Seth, and we're going to be right back after this short intermission.
Check.
Oh. Could
So,
this be the last of the Gargle Wars?
Tonight on Remember When, we're talking about lines, the lines that we all used to enjoy back in the day, and Dink brought up lines, and excuse me, I think there's someone in a restroom coming in on the PA system. Could you try that? Try that again.
I told you to shut his mic off.
It's kindly important that we get the water leak stopped here at the Backache Studios. Could I? On the phone right now we have head of maintenance for the Backache Studios, Gil Snark. Gil, what do you think about it, buddy? What's that leak about down there?
I find that it's an aquatic event.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Are we in trouble up here on the third floor?
We're always in trouble on the third floor, but I think we've got it under control.
You do.
We're trying to keep it from becoming an odoriferous event.
Odoriferous, yes. We don't want that. Well, Gil, how many guys
Whatever
you got?
That is.
How many guys you got up there, buddy?
All two of them.
All two of them. And do you
That's counting him.
I'm sorry?
There seems to be a disconnect between when I want it done and when it'll probably be done. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Gil?
Yes, sir. We'll get right on that.
I figured you would. And I love you for that, Gil. Thank you so much.
Gil, are you on coffee break?
Harumph.
And okay, we'll come back to the Ghurn Show in just a second. Thank you so much. Doctor, come back. We thought we had you once. Do we have you again? Doctor, can you speak to us?
Yes, I'm right here.
Oh, you are? Oh,
Calm down.
yeah. Yeah, he's standing there next to that bucket. I'm sorry, Doc. I didn't notice you. I appreciate you coming back into the studio.
Situational awareness needs a little work there, boy.
Well, if you quit hiding behind that bush.
He's a bush hider. He's over there in the corner. Doctor, while you were out in space, playing several different characters and stuff, was that tough not being able to breathe?
Not so much. I hold my breath.
You hold your breath?
Little sips of air.
Doctor, I thought you were back here on Earth. Come in.
I am. I'm right behind the bush. Come on.
Again? Man.
Again.
Dink.
Peekaboo.
The guy can switch in and out of dimensionalities at the drop of a hat. Oh, my God.
Now you see me? Now you don't.
Oh, my God. He just disappeared. Ladies and gentlemen, we had cameras out on the front lawn where Glenn was just here in normal physical form, and then he just disappeared in one instant. And now, Glenn, you're back in space, right?
I'm back in space, right?
Yeah. Well, tell us, how is it out there? How's the weather?
I can't see, you fool. I can't see a damn thing out here.
Do you feel a breeze on your face?
I feel a breeze on my butthole.
Perhaps you're.
This would be a good spot for the third arm.
Glenn, we have an astronaut coming to help you. He's a new astronaut. He's had the third arm operation. He's a third armor, and he's coming up there to help you, Glenn. He'll be your eyes, and I want to say to you, you're so brave for lasting so long. I thought we lost you in the last segment, but here you are. You're back. You seem to be of good health, and so go ahead. And the interdimensional thing. Could you come back down here to Earth right quick?
I'm right over here behind the plant.
Thank you. Could you stay there for a second? Dink?
Sure, no problemo.
Dink, hold him down. I want to ask him a question.
I can't. He's too elusive.
Dink?
He moves good for a blind guy.
Don't.
He's very nimble. Nimble, I say.
Is he as nimble as a marmot?
Oh, marmot. He's as nimble as a mongoose.
Would you say he's as nimble as a meerkat?
He is as nimble as a mongoose.
Come back to the conversation. You guys have gone too far.
We have. Glenn.
Yes.
Glenn, come. I think I'm more comfortable talking to you out in space, so can you go on back?
Yeah, all right, then.
Thanks. Thank you, Glenn. Okay.
You can always count on me.
I know that. I do know that about you.
He can't see him. We can't see him. This guy he's crazy, man.
He's out in space.
I'm over here in the third quadrant.
He's out in space, 37.
Raise your hand, Glenn.
Glenn?
Which one?
Glenn, can I ask you a question, Glenn?
Over.
Glenn?
Over, Roger.
Can you see my house from there?
Back to you. You guys are getting on my left nerve.
Hey, Glenn.
Glenn, I don't want to make fun of you. I'm not making fun of you.
Glenn, Ghurn's nearly famous, but he's not that swift, so bear with him.
No, I'm not. But I still
Commander
have
Ray's
I still ask the question, can you see my house from there?
Cannot see anything from here.
Oh, that's because you're blind. I forgot. It slipped my mind. I'm sure.
Ghurn.
Oh, it slipped my mind.
Ghurn.
Let me ask you something about your friend.
Okay. Okay. Glenn. Can you come back down? Can you come back down into our dimension again?
And I'm back.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a night of firsts tonight. Our first psychic doctor, psychologist, our first psychiatrist, rather. We now are talking to a man who can slip in and out of interdimensionality. I mean, if it was any better, and so, I'm flabbergasted. Dink, take over, buddy.
Take over what?
Take over the show, Dink. I got to have a moment.
Oh, are you leaving?
No, I'm not leaving anywhere. Ghurn will be on site and present during the whole time, armed with a 45 and a.
I was thinking. I was hoping almost, I was thinking you were leaving. So.
Almost dogged determined.
So I could really.
A dogged determination, and an almost fanatical.
Glenn, I think honestly, Glenn, I think you should. Do a little passive resistance to this jumping around for Ghurn thing. I mean, that's got to be hard on you going from the third quadrant back, behind the bush and back and forth, on your belly, on your back type of stuff. So just keep that in mind when debris up my butthole. They call it debris. Does your butthole have a microphone?
Why, yes, doesn't yours?
well, no, I
That's right. He's given new meaning to talking out your ass.
Glenn, is
Glenn?
Is that an add-on, or did you come from the factory like that?
Glenn, I think, Dink, wait a minute, hold on. This coming in over the wire. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Walter Cronkite. We have a message here that is going to affect all of America. It seems that the Ghurn Blandston show has been a victim of a hoax. That's right, a victim of a hoax. The information that you hear on the Ghurn Blandston show has been determined to be almost entirely bullshit. Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on the air. The conversation has spun into utter madness. It seems that I can't even...
So what else is new?
I can't even discern or differentiate at this point. Doctor, are you still there?
Das Chicks buy the centrifuge, the substitute. That's lying. They buy it.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, you see what I'm dealing with. It's utter madness. Dink has went into some kind of state. Dink, can you talk to me?
No.
He can't talk to me. He's come back from the parking lot. Dink went out into the parking lot earlier. I think he took the doctor with him. And now we're pretty much, well...
Yes, the band was on break. We had to go.
Hello, yeah, I hear that.
Are you experienced?
Why, yes.
That's the only line he can remember.
Are you experienced?
Why, yes.
Are you a freak?
What kind of experience are you looking for?
A real experience.
The experience you need to find a demanding job in today's job market, that kind of experience?
No.
What kind of experience do you mean?
Ghurn.
Like a dog experience.
Yeah, Dink. Yeah, Dink.
Well,
Am I being?
I thought he was hitting on you.
Am I being?
Am
I being spam called right now?
I don't know.
Dink, I think I'm being spam called right now. Sir, Mr.
This is Idaho calling.
Mrs. Mr. Spam Caller.
Why would anyone from Idaho call you?
I don't know, ma'am, sir. I'm having a hard time reading you, but I think you're spam calling me here at the Ghurn Show, and we really don't want that kind of telephone talk. So if you would most kindly please hang up and turn yourself in to the nearest law enforcement.
Are you experienced?
Ghurn, he's hitting on you, Ghurn.
Damn it. Okay, sir, Dink, what do I do, man?
Hit the button.
Hit the button? There's no button. There's no button.
Making him hang up.
There's no button. I'm sorry, there's no button.
Ghurn, all that money in that studio and you don't have a button?
There's no button. I'm sorry.
You've misread the blueprints.
That was
experience.
I believe we're stuck with the guy. Let's see if I can communicate with him, okay?
He's got his one line down pretty good.
Let me see if I can communicate with him.
Are you experienced?
Model 1701.
I've lost this.
Oh wait, hold up, Dink, hold up.
Are you?
Model
Man,
37.
More stuttering.
Hey, Dink, stop talking for a moment. Let me see if I can open him up. Model 37. This is Worker speaking.
Worker.
Model 37, Worker, order data /319er 37. Go.
Experience. Vagina.
This is Worker. This is Worker again. Try AMRAC 3 out, do 742. Oh, that's even worse, man.
Who is this?
Okay, what? Oh, he's back. Are you back to our dimension? Say hello, Glenn.
Back.
Say hello, Glenn.
I'm back.
You are.
It looks so wonderful.
That's true.
You can see?
I can see.
He can see. Thank
It's
God
a miracle,
Almighty,
folks.
he can see. And I wanna just say right now, it's been a space miracle. I brought to you by Leon Crumblies. When you need Crumblies, you need Leon. And so let's get back to it. Glenn, where have you landed, bud?
At the beautiful downtown studio. K-O-R-N in beautiful downtown Pakistan.
Padunda? Glenn?
Yes,
Dink, I
yes.
think we may have lost Glenn.
Yeah, I think he's there.
So let's tip our glasses to a really good guy. Glenn, I knew him. I knew him in high school. He played on the varsity flag ball team, and he was a hell of a good guy. And Glenn, we're all gonna miss you, Glenn, buddy.
Miss me?
Glenn,
I thought he was
I'm
back.
right here.
Glenn, is that you?
That's me.
Oh man. The word I had, my notes in front of me, tell me you died.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, thank God Almighty for that. And Glenn not dying was brought to you by Anglican Anchors. When you need anchors, you need Anglican. So
Who's
Glenn,
writing your notes?
So what?
Who's writing your notes?
Satan.
Satan?
Satan! So I forgot. Okay, this is Ghurn again. I have forgotten the entire enterprise and scope of this skit. I forgot who I'm talking to. I forgot who the characters are. I have forgotten the plot line. I have forgotten everything about it. So we're going to regroup. We're going to restart and see if we can't come up with something that does have an ending. Thank you so much for joining us.